We're back live in LA, and I had a little break. My producer didn't schedule it. I didn't schedule it. But one of the reasons I decided to do this is because of my friends in LA. And it's so interesting how we're able to meet. So go Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley Facebook, and totaltutor.net, and you can check out all the information on all I'm doing. And so it's Total Education with Neil for TV, Total Education Celebrity Show, Kacey Taylor from Scandal, and much, much more. Thanks again for coming by. I can't believe I'm finally getting to meet you. And you're one of the reasons I decided to do this marathon of interviews.
I feel honored. That's awesome. Thank you.
And when I said, who are my friends in LA that I want to meet, because there's no way I get them there, because we all know how crazy LA is trying to go back and forth.
Yeah.
And that's where we're seeing people in traffic now, where this could be a midnight shoot before we know it. All these people of your friends show up, and you never know. But I have been taking the second interview, because this is TV, and also it's on in Pittsburgh, to really take an education spin on acting. Now, when you grew up, did you always know you were going to be an actress?
I had an inkling, and when I was 12 years old, I got my first lead in a play. From then it was, I don't want to do anything else.
You figured out your passion, and you went for it. That's the thing. And throughout, were you in lots of stage plays and and acting classes even when you were younger? And you grew up in a small town, right?
Yeah, I did. And you get involved in choir, you get involved in like the plays and the drama classes, but then everyone around you is saying, oh, but you have to have a real job. You have to have a real job. So I actually went to college for pre-med.
Oh my, okay.
Oh my.
And so was that someone else was forcing you in that direction?
I think when you live, in the Midwest, you're kind of like, yeah, can I really do this? Can I really do this? Where are my outlets? And so I did that, but I had a minor in theater and music.
Okay, so that was your thing, that was your passion. You're saying, okay, you're doing it. Like, it's funny, when I was going to my undergrad in history, I was a professional wrestler on the side and was doing it in the minor leagues, and I was like, well, I really don't care about school. It's like I'm doing this to please people, but who cares? And then it ends up happening. And for you to decide throughout that time, did you think you had a gift when you were growing up, when you were doing some of the acting in like little plays and and different things? Did your mom or family send you to like these Act 1 type deals or these like acting classes? How old were you when you started those acting classes?
Well, actually, when I was 12 and I had the first lead in a play and I sang, everybody was like, where did that voice come from? What is she? And that's kind of when everyone was like, ooh, maybe you should invest in that. Do a little acting classes, do some singing.
See, my daughter is at kindergarten. She went in front of the whole class and sang, I forget, God Bless America. She was fantastic. And I keep telling my wife, you're putting her involved in things, but her talent is she has the bug. Because my wife was an entertainer, meaning she was acting and she was involved in different stuff. And with myself in professional wrestling, our kids are really have that ability to act. We know about from how they yell, scream, and are able to put on tantrums, that they really know how to move the system. So I say get them involved, especially singing, all the different things. Were you involved in dance too? Did you dance?
Actually, I did sports. I was like a soccer player and basketball player.
Do you wish you were doing dance too?
Yes, I do. I really. Well, but my sister's thing was ballet and dance, so my parents were like, well, no, that's your sister's thing. And then I did the singing, and I wish that instead of trying to be a people pleaser and kind of do everybody else's stuff, I would have just stuck to what I wanted, because I am a people pleaser.
Well, and it sounds like you're like my wife in certain ways. You please certain things, and if you would have done all the other stuff,
I'd be leaps and bounds ahead.
Leaps and bounds ahead, but at least you're trained in certain ways. And then when you were in school, what kind of help did you have, the kind of mentors to say you really have something? Because a lot of people that go for acting really don't have it, do they?
Well, what's funny is I didn't have a lot of people behind me other than my parents, and for the longest time, you get the teachers who have their favorites,
right,
and they take care of them, and then they're like, oh no, you're never going to get the lead. You're not so and so. So for me, it was like, I'm going to prove all of you wrong.
And that's what I'm trying to do myself with the going back into the radio, because you don't get paid for this. Well, guess what? The connections, and you should see in today how I'm already. I have ideas for 2 films with somebody and all these different things. It's like, man, if I was here, I'd have the flow. Because I have that creative mind to come up with things and then have people that want to try these projects. And that's when you got to LA, you said, my gosh, this is for me. I can't stay in the Midwest and just there might be a film there. There's people that they fund these films in different cities, like Pittsburgh. I'm trying to connect with some of the Pittsburgh actors to try to do some acting in Pittsburgh on the side during the day when there's not much going on.
There's a community out there.
Exactly, because being my height, there's definitely some roles for me.
Oh yeah, you're unique too. Like nobody's gonna look just like you, and you're like.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm kind of the blonde dime a dozen.
But the difference is that you're intelligent, and that must help. Meaning,
fun,
because you went for pre-med, you are smart enough to remember your lines, study, prepare, and I'm sure you see a lot of blondes that aren't like that at all.
Yes, and like when the roles come through for like the medical or the ER, I'm like, oh, I know what that is. I know what your sternocleidoid mastoid is.
But you need to go and really investigate that. Whoever your agent is needs to really push that. Or maybe I need to talk to your agent and
Do you
get
want
some.
to? I can give you your number.
Not the publicist. Your publicist is great. Your agent say, come on now. If you have medical background, you should be on the best shows.
Yes.
Grey's Anatomy, come on. It should be Kacey Taylor's, everybody.
That's right.
Because you at least know the business. I'm sure these people that act in it never went to medical, that were ever pre-med and understand any of the science, right?
Right. I know.
Or CSI?
Oh,
come on.
Yeah, I would love that.
And they just put you in this deal and scandal where you were just an assistant when you were smarter than the first lady, pretty much.
Don't tell me that. She'll be so mad at me.
No, but I said it. I will be the one that's in trouble. Not you. But the truth is, come on now. How many people, see, this is one thing that people don't understand. In wrestling, professional wrestling, everyone thought they're a bunch of dummy idiots. But ultimately, they're very intelligent people that went to school for specific things. How about in acting? Do you see a lot of people that studied it, that are here, that are very intelligent people?
I do, but I see a difference in the fact that sometimes it doesn't sink in, or you can't just go to class. You've got to be doing it, and it's just like working a muscle. When you exercise, you get that. You can't get stronger if you're not constantly working that muscle. And for me, it's every time that I do something, I give it everything instead of and see how much I can take away from it.
Definitely.
And there's a big difference. I mean, there's actors who think they can act, and then there's actors who act. And I hope I'm one of those.
No, honestly. So now, and what you learn in this thing we talked about is that till you make it, you got to do other things.
Exactly.
And that's the difficult part. Did you ever think of doing voiceover? You have a pretty good voice.
I have. I've just never done anything with it. Like I've never took a class.
It's not. It's simple. I mean, Marcus thinks I can do voiceover. And I'm not trained in it. And you hear me talking now, I don't sound like the same person when we're directing.
You would be great for like that new movie, The Croods, or one of those great animation, goofy guys.
Oh, you should have saw how we were preparing last night. I was doing Kermit the Frog and different voices like that. So it was a lot of fun. But yeah, that's what you have to find yourself. Is find those other different things. We have a French actress coming in today, Claire Doden, and she basically does voiceover in French, and she's phenomenal, and she does a lot of sci-fi stuff. But they find other deals, so that's you have to tell yourself is
I will go get
because
class.
Now because you're building the brand. You got to say, let's go forward. But one thing you've learned since that experience on Scandal that it's given you, look, come on now, you met Magic Johnson.
On, guys.
You were in the red carpet, and that wasn't your agent, was it? That was
definitely PR,
and that must have been awesome.
That was fun.
Who else did you meet? You met Magic. Who else?
I met his wife, Sherry Johnson.
She's in a spinning class that's Jerome's wife's. So did you meet Jerome? Jerome brought you up?
Yeah. So
that's
he knows
Spinning with Angela. All the big stars go to that. You needed to go ahead.
I should go to that and make some friends.
Make some friends in certain ways.
Yeah, because that event was great. It was the UNCF college fund, it was so great to see like Magic Johnson get honored and different people for their charity work. We talk a lot about that.
So who else was the Magic was there? Magic's wife. Any other?
Loretta Devine was there.
What Loretta done?
She was on Grey's Anatomy.
Okay, well I'm telling you, you need to go to Grey's.
Yeah, I want to go to Grey's.
Okay.
But yeah, so it was cool. It was cool.
And did you kind of tell about your awareness and what you're trying to do? So how did you end up getting on the list? Is it Scandal that got you to at least get there?
Yeah, and also the different publicity or the
philanthropic.
Thank you. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so I'm showing my intelligence as the educator.
Yes, you are the educator today.
Exactly.
I've been doing too many things today. But yeah,
too many things. I've been doing too many things today.
You have been doing too many things.
I don't even know I'm in LA. I feel like I'm in Pittsburgh. In my basement, at least it's a lot nicer here than in my basement. But
it's hot here.
Well, I'm hot with the jacket, so
I feel bad for you.
You feel bad. So what I was saying is, through that process, you say, now I'm awareness. So now, because of the success of Scandal, where you were part of it, and I've used it to brand myself as well, saying, interviewing you, tell me specifically what's happening now with the big thing in Idaho. What's going on there? Where you're going? Tell me about that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so you were thinking I was trying to get away some way.
Yes,
I would have gotten in trouble, and then I would have gotten
you're
beat
good.
up. Yeah, I'm not good. I don't mess these
Well, and I am a big advocate of self-awareness and positive thinking. And there's one of the National Eating Disorder Association's walks is back home in my hometown. Well, my home state.
Right.
The capital in Boise. So I'm going to go do that in May and drag my mom with me just to support and raise money for that, because, that's something that I think we need to be aware of and help with.
Most definitely, and then we have to be aware of what's going on. And did you get invited, or did you reach out to people?
I actually reached out to do that because I had heard about those, and I was like, oh my gosh, addiction recovery, and helping people get through their problems. I was like, I'm definitely going to go support, and if it's back home, what a great opportunity.
So what I think you need to do, and this is always me thinking, is look at some of the big national organizations to really team up with them in specific ways, saying, I can promote whatever I'm doing and all these different things, but I'm really speaking of it when I helped my church, as I remember we were talking about before.
Yes.
And so that's key. So and I know you can't say anything, but some big projects we're going to have to keep our fingers crossed about specific things. And pilot season's almost over, and you got at least you're learning more and more.
And this was my first hardcore pilot season. I learned how to audition. It's the best thing I'm going to take away from this. And it's opening up a lot of opportunities. Talk about networking.
Yeah.
The only way to meet people and get out there is by.
And you're going to acting classes too, right?
Oh yeah, 3 times a week.
What happens in the acting classes? Do you you're able to network, and are there people watching?
It's actually just the teacher and the other students.
Oh, just one.
It's very private.
But do you guys help each other out when you talk and say, okay, you would be great for this part, or you're great at this part? Like I had Victor Alfieri on my show. Basically, I told Victor I had someone that did a Clemente movie, and I brought up Bruno Sammartino because he wanted to do another Pittsburgh one. I said, do you want a Bruno Sammartino, and let's have Victor Alfieri be Bruno because he's a boxer, and he would be perfect to do Bruno. So we came up with these ideas from meeting together and say, let's roll with this. I'll be the creative team between wrestling, and we'll bring Bruno in on those different things. So it's just amazing what happens in Hollywood. And you learn really quickly. It's who you meet. It's what you go.
Yes.
And it's influence. And once you get that big role, you're on your way.
And it's also about, it's more than your talent. It's about who you are and how you represent yourself, because that's what makes people remember you. So if you have an ego
before you're there, you're dead.
Oh,
yeah. But what about even when you have an ego? Can that bring you down? Have you seen certain actors that had one big role, then they got an ego? It's every role it's different.
Well, it's taking criticism too and learning,
Right.
And
we
when
had
you can't
Pam
do
Bowen
that,
on. She said she took 10 years off, and basically she had to start again.
You do.
And
you
it's
completely
amazing.
Do.
And we didn't even know specifically who she was married to before we found that out. We're like, well, we just but we didn't say anything. But it was so surprising. It's amazing who we meet in LA and are able to do things. So basically, you're keeping your fingers crossed.
Yes.
Is there any projects you can promote right now? Except the Idaho thing. Is there a website to promote when you're going out there?
Just the National Eating Disorder Association, and then I'll put it on my website. It's kaceytaylor.net, or I will tweet it, and that's
you better tweet
at the Kacey Taylor.
Yeah, you better definitely tweet it.
And I'll do it on Facebook too. So.
And you keep going.
I'm gonna keep going.
Keep being busy.
Yeah.
And,
I'm sure this is the year for breakthrough. So.
I think so. Well, then you better not forget me then.
I think I won't. You're like right there in my ear. I love it.
No, because I want to know what's happening next.
Yeah.
And how your career is going. So it was fantastic you came by.
Thank you.
And thanks for spending time, and hang out a bit. We can talk till the next guest comes, and we can kind of talk about certain ways we get each other out. And I think what you need to do at this Idaho event is really say, I want to be the poster for you guys. If this works out, start traveling other places, because then you use that to get into more Magic Johnson events.
I love that.
And then you create relationships with other charities and do different things, and then take on a responsibility like a cause like autism. Right now I'm looking for a celebrity spokesperson in Pittsburgh in April. Things like that, and say, well, I can't just stick with eating disorders. I have to use my face and people recognizing me. And do people recognize you from Scandal?
Oh, even when I'm waitressing, because I still have to do that a little on the side.
Yeah.
I've had 3 people just be like, I know you.
You need to quit racing next week, and you're going to be doing voiceover. That's what I think you should be doing.
All right.
So go out, do that, and then figure out some other things. Find things you can do so you're doing your passion.
You tell me how to get into the voiceover.
Okay, I will.
Community.
I'll talk to Claire, and we'll try to make the connection. So thanks again for coming by.
Thank you.
All right, you're listening to Total Education with Neil, and also the Total Education Celebrity Show. We'll be back in just a moment.